Thinking outside the cage. Hi, welcome to another video. Today we're going to do this gorgeous arrangement, a fresh take on the birdcage arrangement. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Katherine Bergman. I'm a florist with over 30 years experience designing weddings and events, sharing a new floral project with you each week. Are you ready? Let's get started. So today we're going to do something a little different with a birdcage. I've done many birdcage arrangements in my career for a long time. This was the thing for centerpieces. We would do flowers around the base of it. We would do flowers inside of it. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to design inside and outside. So we're going to kind of combine like a crescent arrangement with the birdcage. And this arrangement would be beautiful if you have the birdcage hanging as well. Now, the problem with designing with bird cages is if you do an arrangement inside, it always looks really squished together, right? Whatever you do, you can't get a very big arrangement in there, but you have to cover your mechanics. And what I end up doing is making an arrangement that looks like it's shoehorned in there. It doesn't look very natural, and the flowers look like they're just squished in there. So I thought, you know what? Let's think outside the cage, right? Let the things come out. So instead of designing either around the cage or inside the cage, let's do inside the cage, letting cascade out. So here goes nothing. I've not done this before, so I'm just going to experiment with you guys. So this is a white birdcage that was really rusty and ugly looking that I found just kind of discarded in a corner of my junky area of the garden where we have cinder blocks and old pots. Okay, so it was part of an order. I maybe ordered 20 something of these for a wedding years ago, and I just kind of neglected this one. So I sprayed it as champagne gold, and what I have here is a flat plastic tray that I sprayed with the same paint. So we have like a matching container for here. And I have like a quarter block of floral foam in here with some water, and that's going to be our mechanic. I'm going to go ahead and set this inside the birdcage. And you see how, if you see the gold, if it shows a little bit, it's okay. And it's nice that I have now a coordinating container for their birdcage. And the way I envision this arrangement is like we're gonna have some flowers inside, of course, to cover the foam, but most of the arrangement is gonna be on the outside, cascading out, and we're just gonna go all out and make a large arrangement kind of coming out of the birdcage. And you can even have this hanging. If you're doing a garden party, you can have this hanging from a pergola, and it'll be spectacular, almost like a chandelier. Okay, so before I shut the lid of this birdcage, I'm going to go ahead and put some flowers on the inside. And let's go for this rose. Oh, the flowers we're going to use today are just these very romantic, soft, sort of wedding colors of pale pinks, blushes, and a little bit of a darker pink. And I chose very romantic looking roses that look sort of like they're garden grown. I'm going to set this really deep in the foam here. And I've got my Quick Dip here. Quick Dip I show you every week. And for those of you who are new, Quick Dip is a product that you can put in a little jar. What you do is you dip your cut end of the flower in there, and it helps your flowers take up water. And this has been a game changer. I've been designing for 30 years, and I can't believe I didn't discover this till recently. And I'll link in the description where you can buy Quick Dip. They're not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by them. It's just a really great product. Okay, so I just put a rose in the middle, and then maybe I'll find some of these short lisianthus here to put in here as well. I want to cover the foam somewhat with sort of smaller flowers and some greenery. And I don't need to cover it completely because we're going to design around it. So I want there to be lots of space in the foam. You'll see what I mean when I start designing. But I don't want it to be totally, a block of foam, because then it'll be hard to put it in later once we've got our arrangement in place. So I'm just breaking off florets of the alstroemeria to use in here. Okay, let's see, should I do another flower in there? Maybe I can do one of these lighter color roses. I'm gonna kind of pull the rose apart so it's a little fuller blooming. It just covers more foam that way. Okay. So we've got 2 roses stuffed in here, and that's enough to cover our foam. Okay, that's what we have right here. That's not the design, so don't worry about it too much. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this so that I could kind of see what I'm doing. Now I have these giant dahlias that I think would be beautiful as the focal point at the bottom here. I'm gonna go ahead and dip this in here. Dahlias are not long lasting, so definitely you wanna use some quick dip for this and have the dahlia come out this way here. Okay. Have our dahlia there. Let's see if we can use another stem. Dahlias are very delicate, and especially these giant ones. They don't hold up that great. I'm gonna really look to see where I want to place this next one. Maybe over here. Okay. Then we have only one left, so we might want to use it on this side here. Yeah, why not? Okay, got our dahlias in place. And then I don't know what's next. Let's use some of these David Austin roses. Here's a beautiful one called Jeff Hamilton. I'm gonna put one over here. Feel very liberated not to be constrained by the by the little cage. I think this will be a beautiful way to design around a birdcage. Let's hope it turns out well. Okay. Got a big, beautiful stem of lisianthus. Where should I put that? Out here, maybe? Yeah, why not? Okay. Another one here. 2. Okay. Let's see what we have over here that needs filling. That's what we have so far. See the Alstro. Also is great for covering things too. We cut this a little shorter. Okay, what else do we have? Let's use some of these pretty pale blush roses. These are Ecuadorian roses. How about a dark pink one over here? Okay, so this is what we have so far. We got our dahlias and roses kind of added into here. I'm gonna lift it up to take a look what it looks like if it were hanging. Pretty beautiful, isn't it? We're not close to being done yet. You know, I think this alstroemeria here is sticking out a little too much. I'm gonna cut it a little shorter. That's better. You don't want it to be, you know, too much the same exact on both sides. Okay. I think I'll do another dark rose, dark pink rose here. And maybe a light pink one with it. Oh, I think it's too, I want to keep this bottom part open a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Maybe we add a rose over here. I'm going to add one of these darker roses on this side with the dahlia so we have some continuity. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Then I have some butterfly ranunculus. I think this is what we're going to use to set our sort of crescent-y lines. This is great for this type of arrangement. This is turning out really well. I was nervous to do this because I haven't done it before. But I was imagining this. You know, this is what I do when I lie awake at 3 a.m. is think of different flower designs. Okay. Then I want something kind of come out the front of here. How about we use one of these side buds of the dahlia? I don't know if I like that there. Maybe it's too big. Now, this type of arrangement is not going to be all that long lasting because you saw our mechanics, right? We just have a shallow tray, so there's not a large reservoir for water. But this is definitely something for an event. This would be gorgeous for like a bridal shower, or if you're doing a fancy tea for Mother's Day, or a garden party. It's hard now to put things in the foam because we're so full, because it's so full. That's what we have right here. See how gorgeous this is? Make sure this is locked so I can show you what it looks like hanging. Right? Beautiful. A new way to do bird cages. Okay, let's keep going. I still see some things that need to be covered in the back here. So we got more of these roses. I kind of don't like how it's clustered here. What should I do? There we go. Maybe like this. You know what? I think I'm going to move this dahlia to the center here and move the roses over here. There we go. I think that's the problem. We have those giant dahlias as a focal point over there, and then we don't have it over here. Should have bought another bunch of these dahlias. But I knew they were not long lasting, so I just went with this bunch here. Much better. So that's what we have. We have another focal point on this side that echoes the one on this side. Because I want it to be two-sided, so if you're hanging, you don't have to hang it up against a wall or something crazy like that. Now, do we need a little bit of greenery here and there? Yeah, why not? That'll help us also cover some of the foam without adding any more flowers or weight to this arrangement. I mean, visual weight. Just kind of go around and check to see if you see any foam visible, and then add a little sprig of greenery. Okay, very pretty. I'm gonna go around here and see if we need a little greenery there. It's tricky because you're trying to arrange it inside that bird cage, right? You have to kind of look to see if there's anything that's still showing. Especially if you're going to hang this, you want to make sure you don't have like foam showing from the bottom. Because from my vantage point, when you're looking down on it, it looks great, right? But from down here, I see a little bit of foam right here. I see a little bit of foam right there. So greenery will help you fill in those spots. Okay. And looking down on it, I see a little bit of foam showing from when we first put in the two roses, right? So I'm going to add a few sprigs of greenery in there as well. It's not very noticeable, but you don't want to have any foam showing. That's a very basic of flower design, not to have your foam show. Okay, can lock this back down. Okay, I'm going to stand back and kind of look at my arrangements, see if I need anything. I've got two stems of these Ecuadorian spray, not spray roses, but Ecuadorian roses in pale blush. Why don't we just go ahead and add them in there so we don't just have two stray stems. What am I going to do with it, right? And I think we need a little something over here. Oh, just pull the greenery out. There we go. A little something next to the dahlia. Okay. Looks pretty good. Let's see what is missing on this side. Let's go ahead and add this last stem of roses to this side. You know what? We've got one right here, so I don't want to add one there. Then we have like eyeballing, right? You guys know about eyeballing. So I'm going to move that pink rose over here and then do this rose over here. So we don't have the eyeballing problem. Okay. I also grabbed a bunch of baby's breath from the market, and I'm not sure if we're going to use it. What do you guys think? I'm going to pull it out and see if we want a little bit of baby's breath with this arrangement. I don't know. I kind of like it as is, but this kind of adds a airiness. And I kind of like that airiness because we're doing a birdcage arrangement, right? So maybe very, very little just around the perimeter with the option of pulling it out if I don't love it. Oh, I like it. I think it's pretty. Now you guys know about buying baby's breath. Make sure the stems are green. Baby's breath is pretty long lasting. So sometimes, you know, you're at the supermarket, you buy baby's breath, you think it's fresh, but it's not if the stems are sort of brown or grayish looking or looks kind of dry. You want to make sure your baby's breath stems are nice and green. It's hard to add the baby's breath. I can't see the floral foam in there. Okay, let's try again. Maybe I'll take a longer stem here. There we go. Add that in there. Okay, take a look at this. You know what? Don't love it over here. Maybe make it a little shorter. See, I haven't worked all this out. I'm just doing it with you guys. And that's how a design is. You kind of have a concept, and then sometimes in reality, it's not what you think, right? And you can always change things around. We'll add some on this side so that the two sides are similar, at least have the same materials. Okay, stop me before I fill this whole thing up with baby's breath. Okay. Gonna hold it up, see if it cascades nicely. It's gorgeous, isn't it? A new look for a bird cage. So we're all done with the arrangement. I'm raising it off the table so that you could kind of see the shape and how it cascades and how this could be really beautiful hanging as well as sitting on a pedestal on your table. It's a new take on a birdcage arrangement. I think it's successful. We're sort of combining a crescent arrangement, incorporating the birdcage in it, so we're not trying to stuff an arrangement inside the birdcage or doing a boring, you know, wreath around the birdcage. And I've got a little bluebird. What do you guys think? Do we add a little bird to our arrangement? Of course, why not? Okay, so we have our little bluebird outside the cage looking in. I always like to add the birds on the outside of the bird cages. I always think it's sad to see a bird in a cage. Sometimes it's good to think outside the cage. I think our fresh take on the birdcage arrangement was very successful. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something today. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, please like and subscribe and click the little bell to be notified when I put out a new video. For those of you diehards who tune in every week, you guys inspired me from the beginning and I love you guys. Send me a comment to let me know what you're up to this week. I've opened up the community section of my channel and you guys are posting these amazing arrangements. I'm so proud of you. Keep them coming because we all like to see what you're up to. So until next time, go out and do something spectacular with flowers this week. Be inspired, think outside the cage, and I will see you in my next video.